Have you ever run into a situation like this? The wall clock suddenly stops, and it quietly throws off the rhythm of the whole household. That simple clock on the wall does more than just tell time. It keeps daily routines on track, helps everyone stay on schedule, and brings a sense of order to the day. And yet, all it takes is a single AA battery running out to bring everything to a pause. So you replace it, then replace it again, and before you know it, it turns into a loop. Dead battery, buy a new one, repeat. Over time it adds up. The environment takes the hit from all those discarded batteries, and your wallet slowly feels the strain. Taking care of the environment isn't something optional, it's just the natural, responsible thing to do. So instead of going down that road, I found a simple way to bring a dead AA battery back to life without spending much at all. Let's roll up our sleeves and get started. Before jumping straight into bringing the AA battery back to life, I'm going to check it first with a voltage meter. It's a simple step, but it helps confirm the battery's condition and makes everything more convincing and reliable before we start. There's absolutely no measurable energy left in this AA battery, not even a tiny bit. And that's with a voltage meter sensitive enough to pick up even very small readings. I'm going to mark it right away, just to make sure there's no doubt or suspicion about swapping it out later. Next, I'll grab a fresh AA battery that's still working and test it as well. This step serves two purposes. First, to confirm that the voltage meter is working perfectly fine, and second, to give us a solid reference point so we can compare and see how effective the battery revival method really is. After the check, I'll clean up the two terminals of the AA battery, scraping off any tiny bits of corrosion that might not be easy to see. It's not a major cause of failure, but it can still affect the battery's performance and lifespan, so giving it a quick clean is a sensible step. Those tiny bits of corrosion that are hard to spot with the naked eye look like they've been cleaned off now. With that out of the way, it's time to move on and start bringing this AA battery back to life. This might look a bit unusual, right? If you're wondering why I'm boiling water, just stick around and keep watching. You'll see exactly why in a moment. Once the water has come to a boil, I'll add 3 spoonfuls of salt into the pot and give it a good stir until everything is well mixed. You've probably come across this tip somewhere on well-known science recycling pages. Boiling an AA battery together with a few old spark plugs and salt water. It sounds unusual, but there's an interesting way to look at it from a technical perspective. When an AA battery appears dead, In some cases it's not completely exhausted, but rather sitting in a kind of deep dormant state where the internal chemical reactions are no longer active enough to deliver usable energy. The combination of heat and a conductive salt solution can help stimulate the internal environment of the battery. Gentle heating may increase ion movement inside, while the salt solution creates conditions that slightly improve conductivity around the outer surface. This doesn't magically restore the battery to its original condition, but it can help wake up some of the remaining chemical activity that has gone inactive. You can think of it as nudging the battery out of a deep sleep, preparing it for the next step. As for the old spark plugs, while they don't directly rebuild the battery, their presence in the setup can contribute to a more stable thermal and conductive environment during the process. The key idea here isn't full restoration, but reactivating whatever residual energy is still inside, so the battery is in a better state for a follow-up recharging attempt. To build a simple battery recharging setup, I prioritize using an old phone charger with a low output of around 5 volts. The reason is straightforward. Low voltage ensures a gentle, controlled current flow into the AA battery. High voltage chargers can push too much energy too quickly, which may overheat the battery, damage its internal structure, or even create safety risks. By keeping the voltage low, we give the battery a calm, steady environment to slowly reactivate its remaining chemical potential, making the recharging process safer and more effective. And I have a small but important tip. Always check the AA battery by touch while charging. When you start to feel it getting slightly warm, that's your cue. It's the right moment to disconnect it from the power source. This simple check helps prevent overheating and keeps the battery safe during the recharging process. Although the result is still slightly below a brand new AA battery, it's truly impressive given where we started. A battery that seemed completely dead now has life again, enough to keep your wall clock ticking and your daily routine running smoothly. Beyond saving a few dollars, this little act also helps reduce waste and protect the environment. A small change that, when multiplied by millions, makes a big difference. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever tried reviving a battery before or found clever ways to reuse things at home instead of throwing them away? Share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to see your DIY hacks and eco-friendly ideas. Remember, every small effort counts, and together we can make everyday life smarter, greener, and more sustainable.